Welcome everyone to another video. Today we're going to talk about self-study for C1 Advanced. Quite a few people, it seems, are trying to get through C1 Advanced by themselves. And I would have to say that that's probably not the easiest way. I would have to say that getting hold of a decent teacher with experience with the exam I think would certainly be more beneficial. I think if you're going to self-study for C1, you definitely need to be a particular kind of person, self-motivated, determined, willing to do sort of the work every day, etc. So I'm not saying it's for everyone, but if you want to sort of go down that route, then I'm going to talk today about some books that you can use that would certainly help you get to where you want to be. Okay? So we're going to have a look at these books here today, which I think are sort of essential for self-study C1 Advanced, okay? And we're going to talk about a little bit of each of these books and go through why I think they're important, okay? There are many other books that you can certainly choose from. These are ones that I think are important. Just make sure that if you are going to sort of go down this particular path, that you're choosing books that are relevant to the 2015 changes, okay? Cambridge changed the C1 Advanced in 2015, and these books are relevant to the recent changes. And if you look through these books, the questions and the way the questions are asked, these will be the sort of questions that you will definitely get in the exam today, okay? There are changes coming. I think in the next year or two, they will make other changes, but at the moment, these books are certainly relevant. So the first book here is C1 Advanced Trainer 2, okay? There are two versions of this book. This is the more recent version. And it's a good book because it goes through what is required for each section of the exam, okay? Explaining what you need to do, looking at the grammar that is required, okay? And the first two practice tests, essentially it's holding your hand, okay? Giving you explanations, explaining why the answer is this way, etc. And then you have four other exams where the book expects you to have learned from the first two. And these other four tests are basically for you to try out with your new knowledge of the exam. Okay, full explanations are given at the back of the book, okay, and certainly audio files are available for the listening exam, okay. Now, the other book here is this one. This is a new book from Cambridge, C1 Advanced 4. There are three other books, obviously, but this book is particularly useful because, again, it gives full information about reasons for the answers. Okay, there are four practice tests for you to have a go at. Okay, so reading, use of English, writing, listening, speaking, etc. And you're given all the explanations necessary for each of the different parts. Okay, obviously for the writing, I think they give you some sample answers. Or sample essays and such like, but it's not sort of comprehensive. You're not getting a sample answer for all the questions, but certainly for all the other parts, there are full explanations. And there is also a video as well of the speaking exam. Okay, this is a recent book. This came out, I think, last September. Okay, now this is the next book here worth looking at. Grammar and Vocabulary for Advanced, okay? Now, this goes through particularly the sort of topical elements of the exam, okay? Right at the beginning, it will go through all the sort of topics that you should be aware of, and from that, the vocabulary that you should also know as well. And as well as that, again, for each of the sections, it will go through the sort of grammar that's relevant for each of the particular parts. Okay, so word formation, the prefixes and suffixes that are irrelevant, phrasal verbs that would be important for parts like keyword transformations. Okay, so again, this is definitely a sort of a good sort of add-on to these other two books here. Okay. Now, the last book here is actually free. This is freely available to everybody, okay? And it is published by Cambridge, as are the other books here. And essentially, it's a handbook for teachers, but there's no reason why students can't use it. And if you were self-studying for C1 Advanced, it is definitely something that you should be looking at, especially for writing, okay? Because it will go through exactly what is required for the writing, how Cambridge will score the writing, okay? And if you're aware of how they're scoring the writing, then you can write obviously in that particular way, okay? It explains exactly what is required in, for example, content, community of achievement, organization, language. And if you have that information, if you know that, obviously it would help you to write your essays better, to write your reports in the particular style required, proposals, etc., that is basically required for the writing exam. So these 3 books here, obviously you would need to buy them. They're certainly available on Amazon. Okay, what I'll do is I'll add links to the books online, and if you want, you can sort of go through and buy this. And I'll also give you the link here for this book here, which is also freely available on the Cambridge website. You can download this book, okay? And as I say, it is worth having, even if you're studying with a teacher, I would say this is definitely worth having, so that you can sort of know what is required for the exam, and so that you have this knowledge when you're doing the exam. Okay, so thanks very much for listening today. It's another short video, but I think it's quite useful. If you're certainly looking at sort of trying to get yourself through C1 Advanced, I would definitely sort of recommend the books we've talked about. Check out the other videos. There are other videos that I've done looking at sort of grammatical elements of the exam, keyword transformations. There's something about part 2 speaking. So definitely check out, subscribe as well, hit the bell icon to keep yourself aware of all the videos coming up. Okay, thank you.